Hello, Bio 9 students. How's it going? I know you're getting ready for your first exam. It is hotter than a firecracker today, isn't it? Anyways, I thought what I would do is do a real brief little video going over some elements of the study guide and maybe give you a little bit of advice on how to proceed in the course. So, of course, let's go to modules here. 3 chapters. You guys are already like 3 chapters into this book. Can you believe that? You can see that the exam one link is open. All you have to do is click on that and it'll take you to the exam. Here are the instructions. I am not going to start it because that would mess things up. Most people do have 60 minutes for the exam. And that means that you're going to have a number of questions to answer, about 35. A few of those questions or not a few, but one of those questions is a written question. And I put that one first because I want you guys to be able to spend some time doing that and feel confident so that once you input your answer, which you can work out on a piece of paper, but once you input your answer and then you proceed to question number 2 or number 1 of all the multiple choice, you won't be able to go backwards. So as you go from question to question, be aware that you can't go back and you're only presented one question at a time. Why do we do this? Take a guess. Most people are exceedingly honest and I trust pretty much everyone. However, having said that, occasionally I have a few people who kind of might try to look at notes or whatever, check things online, or maybe even look at their friends' material. Let's not do that. Let's see how much you've learned studying by yourself. So that's the exam. Let's go over to the modules here. And here's the study guide. I'm not going to pull up the PDF because I have it right here on the screen. What I've tried to do here in the study guide over the 3 chapters is identify the main elements that I'm going to be asking you questions on. And these are the most important elements, not only in genetics, but basically in biology. So what is the definition of genetics? There are a few different definitions, but what's the main one, right? What is it a field that what does it study? All right. Where can you find DNA in a cell? Remember, there are 2 types of cells. And here's a hint. One type of cell has organelles, and some of those organelles harken back to prokaryotic cells. So think about that a little bit, okay? So if you can answer all of these questions here, you should do well on the questions from chapter 1. Reproduction and chromosome transmission. I know that reproduction, mitosis, and meiosis is just challenging. I did post some extra videos on mitosis and meiosis down low in the lower module called resources. Please be sure that you study those, watch those. The one thing that I am going to tell you right now is that the cell cycle, G1, S, G2, and M, is different from mitosis. Mitosis is only M phase. So mitosis technically is just the division of the nucleus, and that includes prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis. G1, S, and G2 are all interphase, okay? So make sure, again, that you're studying these basic principles. It'll serve you well in your future biology classes if you've got this under your belt. And then in chapter 3, we start basic Mendelian inheritance. Really understanding Mendelian inheritance is essential because the next few chapters that we're going to be covering are the extensions and exceptions to Mendel's rules. So, for example, in a monohybrid cross, mono meaning one, hybrid meaning you're breeding it, and then a cross, obviously, you're crossing genetic types. In a monohybrid cross, you're just comparing 2 alleles to 2 alleles, right? So dad's 2 alleles with like big B, little b would be on top of the Punnett square, and mom's would be on the side, big B, little b. And so when you're doing a monohybrid cross, what you're looking for is the outcome of how 2 alleles in a gene, in a set, affect the phenotype of an organism. So you should know how to do both a monohybrid and a dihybrid cross. Be sure you understand the FOIL method for the dihybrid cross, all right? I don't think I put a video of that up. Maybe I could try to find one for you guys. And then you do need to know the differences between genotypic and phenotypic outcomes. Genotypic is basically the allele combinations. Phenotypic is how the organism looks. So when you're looking, especially in a dihybrid cross, at crossing, let's say, a black mouse with curly hair and a white mouse with straight hair, how many mice are going to be black curly, white straight, black straight, white curly? And kind of how do those mix up? How do those allele sets recombine? And when you're looking at a phenotypic outcome, you're going to be looking at usually a greater number, not just like a 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, but you might have a huge set depending on the number of phenotypes that are possible. Anyways, folks, the last little bit of advice I'm going to give you is on your homeworks. One of the things that, and I did send a message out about this, but one of the things that I feel very strongly about is when you're taking a course, I don't like it when courses have just like a couple exams. When I was in college, it was a midterm and a final, and that just determined your total grade. So if you blew one of those, you had to take the class again. I guess it's a good business model. I don't know. Anyways, what I like is the idea of having an exam, which this is, for example, 75, 76 points, and then having other assignments that have almost the same amount of points. So if you do all of your reading, all of your homework, and you do well on those, when you take your exam and you don't do too well on the exam, the reading and the homework will offset the effect of the exam. All right. With the reading, always be sure to go to the lower left-hand corner after you've done some reading and click on the icon there, because it's going to give you little short quiz questions, simple questions, to make sure you understood what was in the material you just read. If you guys are having any problems, send me an email. Come by and see me at office hours, Monday at 1, Thursday at 1. I can change my office hours if people need different times, or I take appointments. Anyways, folks, you guys hang in there. I know you guys are going to do great. It's pretty simple material, and I'm sure that we're all going to have a lot of fun going to chapters 4, 5, and 6 after this first unit. Bye-bye, guys.